The village of Niderera basked in the morning sun, its red soil paths lined with acacia trees and the aroma of freshly tilled earth. It was a place where simplicity reigned, where roosters crowed at dawn and the river's soft gurgle lulled its people to sleep at night. Among the many families in Niderera was that of Amina and Ade, a young couple married for 3 years. Ade was a farmer, hard-working and steadfast. He spent his days tending to his fields, growing maize and yams to provide for his wife and their modest home. Amina, on the other hand, was a spirited young woman with dreams that stretched beyond the boundaries of their village. While Ade found satisfaction in the life they had built together, Amina's heart yearned for more. "I married a good man," Amina often thought. But is goodness enough? As the days turned into months, Amina's discontent grew. She envied the women of the village who wore fine clothes and adorned themselves with gold jewelry brought from the city. Her friend Halima, married to a wealthy trader, frequently boasted of her trips to the bustling markets of Lagos, where she purchased silks and perfumes. "Ade works hard," Halima remarked one day. "But hard work without wealth is like a river that never meets the ocean." Amina smiled politely, but felt a pang of agreement. Her heart filled with frustration each time Ade returned home covered in dust, his hands rough from hours of toil. One evening, as they ate yam pottage under the dim glow of their kerosene lamp, Amina sighed. "Ade," she began, "have you ever thought of doing something else? Perhaps trading like Halima's husband?" Ade paused, his spoon halfway to his mouth. "Trading? Amina, I know the land. It has fed us and our parents before us. Why chase what is uncertain when we have enough?" "Enough," Amina whispered to herself, but her mind echoed, "Is it really enough?" But the answer was always the same. Enough is not enough. News spread quickly in Niderera when Rashid, a wealthy trader, arrived in the village. He was a man of charm and opulence, driving a sleek car that gleamed under the sun. Rashid came to trade goods, but his charisma and wealth quickly made him a topic of conversation. Amina first saw Rashid at the marketplace. His confidence was magnetic, and his tailored clothes and polished shoes stood in stark contrast to the simple attire of the villagers. Strangely, "He looks like he belongs in the stories Mama used to tell," Amina thought, remembering tales of princes and their grand castles. Rashid noticed her too, his gaze lingering a little too long. What a beauty," he murmured to himself. Rashid began frequenting the marketplace, often striking up conversations with Amina. He spoke of the city, of parties under dazzling lights, of women in flowing gowns, and men who lived like kings. "A woman like you deserves more," Rashid said one afternoon. "You should be adorned with gold, not beads. Your beauty belongs in the city, not hidden in this village." Amina blushed, flattered by his attention. She began to compare Rashid's lavish lifestyle to Ade's simple ways. Though her conscience warned her, the lure of Rashid's promises was intoxicating. Ade noticed Amina's growing distance. She no longer laughed at his jokes or eagerly awaited his return from the fields. "Is everything all right, Amina?" he asked one night. I'm fine," she replied curtly, turning away. But Amina was far from fine. Her heart and mind were at war, torn between loyalty to Ade and the enticing dreams Rashid painted for her. At the lodge, Amina was dazzled by the glittering lights, the laughter and the music. Rashid showered her with compliments, making her feel like the most important person in the room. "I can give you this life every day," Rashid whispered, his voice smooth as silk. Before she knew it, Amina found herself entangled in Rashid's world. Late-night meetings turned into whispered promises, and soon Amina made a decision that would change her life forever. One morning, Ade woke to find Amina gone. She had left a note, hastily scribbled, "I need more than this life." "Oui, forgive me." Ad sat in stunned silence, the note trembling in his hands. Rashid took Amina to the city, a place of towering buildings, bustling streets, and endless noise. At first, Amina was mesmerized. She wore fine clothes, attended lavish parties, and dined at expensive restaurants. But beneath the surface, cracks began to appear. Rashid was controlling, dismissing her opinions and treating her like an accessory rather than a partner. He often disappeared for days, leaving Amina alone in his sprawling apartment. "You should be grateful," Rashid snapped one day when Amina questioned him. "I took you from that village and gave you this life." Amina's heart ached with regret. The glittering city she had dreamed of now felt like a gilded cage. One night, as Amina sat by the window overlooking the city's neon lights, memories of Aid flooded her mind. She thought of his gentle smile, his unwavering kindness, and the way he worked tirelessly to ensure she never lacked. "Wasn't I content?" she whispered, tears streaming down her face. The realization hit her like a wave. She had traded genuine love for fleeting luxury, and the price was far greater than she had imagined. Determined to reclaim her life, Amina devised a plan to leave Rashid. One morning while he was away, she packed her belongings and took a bus back to Indira. The journey was long and filled with anxiety. Would Adi take her back? Would the village shun her for what she had done? Adi spending her time hovering over her. When she arrived, the familiar sights and sounds of Nidirira brought tears to her eyes. She stood before their small home, her heart pounding. Aid opened the door, his expression a mixture of shock and pain. Amina fell to her knees, sobbing. "Aid, I was foolish. I traded your love for a life that wasn't real. Please forgive me." Adi's eyes filled with tears, but he said nothing. He helped her up and led her inside. Over the following weeks, Amina worked tirelessly to prove her remorse. She sought forgiveness from Adi and the community, humbling herself in every way. Adi's heart softened. Though the scars of betrayal remained, the love they once shared began to blossom again. Amina learned to appreciate the beauty of their simple life and the depth of Adi's love. Years later, as they sat together under the moonlight, Amina rested her head on Adi's shoulder. "If only I had been content," she said softly. Ade kissed her forehead. "The past is behind us. What matters is that we found our way back." In the quiet of Nidirara, their hearts beat as one, stronger and wiser than before. Let me know if you'd like any specific parts expanded or modified.